Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to oxygen not included, shall we? Alright, so let's pause and just take inventory of where we are. We are working on the process of digging out down here so that we can create some space for the CO2 to go and make our oxygen situation a little bit better. You see that this is breathable, but not as good as it could be, and our bathroom is very nearly not a place where people can breathe. We're also going to start putting in a farm. We are building a mess hall. And let's see, is there anything we need to do here? No. They do give you a colony summary, by the way, which is very useful for helping you see things about your statistics like, okay, how many calories do I produce? How many am I consuming? And get a better feel for how your base is performing. But I like to just look up here. And you can also see these little graphs on that are next to your stats on some of these things, like breathability and its rate, and then calories. So we've got some nutrient bars left. We're making mush bars, and we're going to begin cooking those. However, it's going to tell us all the time that there's insufficient resources because we have some things queued up that we don't have the ingredients for, and that's just okay. Because basically what I'm telling my people is make it whenever you have it, and we'll be fine with it. So they're digging out up here. I think we could get some research going, but honestly, I'm going to just wait on research until we get this place a little bit more breathable, get our farm in, and then we'll start going in earnest. I need all hands on deck. You see how they're just eating on the ground. And it's hard to breathe in here. They're all going to go to sleep after they eat. Somebody just left this nutrient bar outside. How dare you? So I'm going to prioritize this digging down here because we need some space. Everything's out of power, and that's okay. So they have to hold their breath down here. Which is going to make this difficult. Breathability dropped significantly there. It's very scary. Now, they have breathability up here. It's just in these locations down below. We don't have as much as we'd like. So we definitely don't want to open up any more space above. And we need to concentrate on continuing to dig out some space for this CO2 to live down here. They're building the dining room. And the reason they're not doing this is because they can't get over here. So once they build this, then they can jump over and start getting over there to do that. somebody... our breathability is better. As you could see vaguely. What's down here? This is slime lung. Okay, so the slime lung you do not want to open up. So try your very best to avoid it. And we'll just, you know, avoid chlorine and slime lung for now. And they're doing a really good job of just creating some space for us. I'm happy. Now you'll notice there's some water that's up high here because we've displaced some with the sand that fell down, I believe. And so people are getting kind of like, you know, wet feet. They don't like it walking on this. But we're not going to spend a lot of time down here once they get this dug out. This is just going to be our CO2 trap for a bit. Now what we could do, if we wanted, is have somebody come down and just dig that to try to lower the water level a bit. So that sort of helped, but not as much as we would like. So we could then, you know, dig this out, but we don't want it to go so low that our pitcher pump no longer accesses it. But let's see if... Yeah, this is fine. I kind of want to dig that block right there. It's just going to be a little bit hard for them to get to. There we go. Okay, well, it didn't quite work the way that I was hoping. Let's do that. Almost got it. Okay. So we're just working on this bottom space, and you could see how the gas is moving, and you see now that these rooms are almost okay. Almost. As the CO2 has more and more room to kind of spread out. Now, this is telling me that this plant is drowning that's right here. Which I don't really care about right now. It's not a super concern for me. I'm just trying to... Actually, this is better. We don't need to... I'm going to cancel this. This is fine. Now, the water level here has gone down, and what we can do is actually give them a mop command like this, and like this to get rid of this, and we can prioritize this so that they will clean this water that's standing up. Oh, somebody got a skill point. Ren. Okay, great. So click on our printing pod and go to skills. And whatever I do when somebody gets a skill point is I mouse over them and I see what are they good at. So this person is kind of like a jack of all trades. They do construction, excavation, and machinery. Well, guess what? We can't dig without hard digging. Like you notice how some of the rocks we just can't dig through because we don't have somebody who's good enough to do it. So I'm going to make them a hard digger so that they can. And then something fun you can do is you can give them a hat. It's just cosmetic, but it lets you see at a glance what people are doing. So this is our scientist. So, but they don't have any actual skills to apply with that. Nisbet doesn't have anything yet either. And, you know, we could give a chef's hat. There. Just for fun. And then they'll put on these hats, and it makes them easier to identify. So you see how they're mopping up all of this water, but then there's these bottles of water that they don't have anything to do with. They're like, well, what do I do with these bottles of water? Well, okay. We have a couple things. First of all, we can... Let's go to plumbing, and we can get a bottle opener. And this allows us to empty bottled liquids back into the world. Okay, so this has a use, but and we're going to need one of these. But I think what I want to do is let's start building some storage bins as well. And down here is actually a pretty good place to do it. So I'm just going to build some storage bins. And even though these are just in bottles, it makes it so that they're not getting their feet wet. And now, you see, Ren can actually dig through these blocks that we couldn't get through before. And this gives us new materials, granite, igneous rock. Now let me make sure that's not slime lung. It's not, it's just CO2, okay. There we go. Oh, cool. Somebody else skilled up. Nisbet. Okay, great. So Nisbet is our farmer. So we're going to go for improved farming so that we can get the farm online. And then we can give them a cool farming hat. Okay. So we need somebody doing the power. It's all run out, and that's okay. We can get there. Generator is idle. So I'm going to go ahead and put the priority of the generator a little bit higher to make sure we get that done. And there it goes. Now, that they're digging this out and they're doing a great job. Remember, we're not going to get too close to this water. This is good enough for us. I'm going to start building a farm, and we'll build it up here so we make sure that we have enough oxygen. And one of the things, actually, I'm going to do something before that. I'm going to build a ladder up here, and then we're going to make sure that we harvest all of these plants. So we could select harvest, and it's the sickle or the Y key. And like all of these plants that are right here, I'm going to tell my people to harvest these so that we could potentially use these in a farm. I'm going to cancel that. And this can't grow because it doesn't have light. So these brittle blossoms need light. And this shine bug is giving light, but it's not always there. We can produce electric light, obviously, if we want to do that. But for now, I'm just going to have them on this project to pick up these plants. I'm also going to up the priority on these storage bins. There we go. There it is. Okay. So once you build these storage bins, you'll see that they have this icon below them, which means like, hey, I've not been told to hold anything. So we can start telling it to hold things. And you could type in here and you could say, hey, You know, bottles, no, they don't hold bottles, right? So what we need this to hold would be, for now, you can just set it to do everything, right? But I kind of like to keep it sorted. So I'm going to have one just be for metal and the other to be for raw minerals. And then they'll store those things in there when they're sweeping. So like these, the copper ore or the carbon dioxide, like they will just pick those up and put them in here. Now we'll get more storage containers in a moment, but this will allow us to kind of tidy up a little bit. So a bottle opener, I'm sorry, it's not a bottle opener. I misspoke. It's a bottle emptier. Now, we're going to put this here, and we're going to push O to rotate it so it empties into our clean water. And what we can do is tell these bottles of clean water to be emptied in here, but we don't want polluted water to go in here. We're going to have to build a separate place. This actually probably will become our polluted water reserve after a while, and we'll tap into this cleaner water. But for now, oh, they did not do what I was expecting them to do. Okay, so oh, because I didn't put the harvest on high priority, that's why. There, do that. There we go. So they're getting the plants, and they don't have a place to put them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, this is going to be like, I'm going to make this kind of our farming area. I'm just going to make a storage bin right here. And I'm going to prioritize this highly. We also probably want a storage bin in our kitchen, but we want it to be a refrigerator. So if we look at rooms, for a kitchen, you have to have a spice grinder, so we have to research up to that, which we haven't done. The spice grinder itself is actually not really that good, but it helps you get a kitchen, so we'll do that. Did you guys harvest all the plants? Okay. I think we're good. Not yet. There. Get all these plants. Okay, great. This is done. And then we're going to make this organic. That's algae. So what we want is actually seeds and agriculture. There. And then they'll start picking up all this stuff and putting it in there. Food they will put over here. If it's just like raw food, they'll put it in the ration box. Okay, now the printing pod is ready. Oops, somebody skilled up. Who was it? Otto. Okay, great. So Otto can finally get advanced research, which allows him to use the supercomputer. So we're going to get this, and we're going to give him a cool research hat. Excellent. And then we're going to choose a blueprint. So we're okay. And let's see who these dupes are. So this person is like insane at digging, but they have bottomless stomach. They both do. So this is too bad. I don't want to take either of them. This means that they eat more. They eat 1,500. You know what? Never mind. One person with bottomless stomach is not the end of the world. It's too bad. It's a lot of food, but they're so good at digging that this is very useful. We'll plow through stuff, so I am going to take them. I normally don't like it, but this will be okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and build them a bed, and we'll get that high priority. And let's go to priorities. and then Frankie here, we're going to... They're actually also pretty good at fighting. We're going to go for digging and make that their, like, top priority. Excellent. Okay, so now all of this seems to be done. So I'm going to deconstruct this, and we're going to dig over here, and just dig all that out. And then we're going to start building a farm. Frankie is going to dig every single thing all the time. We have mush fries. We have muck root. We've cooked the stuff. Now, this is a little bit scary, actually, because this means we've eaten all of our food. So we're going to make mush bars, and we're going to make 10 of these, and we're going to up the priority on this significantly, and we're going to up the priority on cooking as well. Not that there's a lot of competition, but I need people doing these jobs immediately. Ceiling collapse. Right here. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. Okay, great. So now, I'm going to go to food, and we're going to build farm tiles. And I'm just going to go here and here. And all the way over here. I'm not even going to worry too much right now about making this a greenhouse, because, which is the farming special room, because I don't have a farming station anyway. This is backed up, so somebody needs to empty this out. And Frankie has claimed their bed automatically. There we go. We're cooking. And let's go ahead and raise our priority on these farm tiles. I'm going to make sure that these toilets are a little bit higher priority for fixing. I'm also going to build, I shouldn't need it yet, but I'm going to build one more bathroom, one more toilet. So you can see how, with this extra space and this oxygen diffuser, our breathability has gone up throughout the base. This floor is still a disaster, but it will be until we make another floor below it, really. Okay, so now that these tiles have been used, these farm tiles, we could click on them, and what we want to grow are mealwood. So, mealwood, mealwood, mealwood. Oh, sorry, you have to click plant. So you click it, and then once you do this on one, so this is mealwood, you can actually copy the settings and then paste this to your other tiles like that. For as many seeds as we have. We're growing this to make meal lice, which we can cook, and we're doing that because it takes very, very little. Very, very little. If we wanted to make the fruit, it takes light. Now, there is a guy up here that can give us light, so there's that. So they're watering it, they're fertilizing it. And now if you look at our food, we actually have a little bit of mush fry, which is good. And so early game, you just have to kind of lean into this microbe musher unless you have another plan for your food. But it's okay. But we'll get there. And Frankie's going to do his thing and just be digging like a mad person, which is fantastic. They've cleaned the bathroom. They are making a mess hall. Check this out. So if we want a mess hall, we need a little bit more. Okay, so this room, we want this to be a mess hall. It might be too big. We need... It can only be 64 tiles. So what you could do is you could say, okay, let me dig, and then let me just select this, and it is too big. So what we'd have to do is, partition this off a little bit, and just make maybe a separate, room over here. So we'll just go base, and tile, and just do something like this. Build a door. And that should work. I'm gonna get my bottle emptier. I'm sorry, I called it the bottle opener. I mean, it opens the bottle, but it also empties it, which is the more important function. Now, you have to set this, and we say liquid water. Only empty water. That's it. So that's what we want emptied. So they will be able to take these bottles of water and then empty them out there, which is cool. And there we go. We have a mess hall. So when they come in here and eat, morale +3, which is phenomenal. We can also... You'll see how these are assigned to people, so we can go ahead and build more. We shouldn't need more, but I'm going to build 7, and that's going to be the maximum. I'm planning on only 7 dupes for us. So we already have 5, 6, 7. And, that might seem odd, where you're used to in... management games having more people than that, but I'm telling you that you don't want more duplicants than 7 to start out in this game. That's more than enough for what we need, and this is kind of all about a slow burn until we get more technology to deal with things. We don't... The surefire way to kill yourself in this is to grow too quickly, is to take on more duplicants than you can handle. And we might not even be taking these duplicants every single time. We have to be able to make enough food. We have to be able to handle our oxygen situation, which we pretty much have. All the CO2 now is down here. We're going to continue digging. Look at all this space over here, by the way, which is, this is chlorine. We don't want that. But we can dig here, and we can even start digging down to just funnel all of this CO2 away from our base. More batteries would be good, but this is now time. I'm happy with our base. this has light, so we could actually grow some brittle blossoms here and see if this bug will give us enough light. It might not, but this is a good amount of food to start with. And then I'm going to build more just like that. I love having a huge farm just to make sure we've got enough food. And if it might be too big, and so if you say, you know what, this is too much, then you could just shut down some of it. You don't need it all. But it doesn't take very much to maintain, except people's time. And if you have somebody who's good at agriculture, we should be good. But now it's time to actually do some more research. So because a lot of our jobs are done, let's go ahead and get these jumbo batteries. These are phenomenal. And have that researched. Sweet. So now we have built our mess hall, and it actually counts as a mess hall. We got another dupe. We've got our barracks. We've got our latrine. We built a third toilet. We solved this. We mopped up the water. We lowered this down. You can see the water is actually kind of going down. We might have to lower our pitcher pump at some point, but we're going to probably tap this out and start using some of these other water reserves. We got our farm all set up, and most importantly, 100% breathability. We have really done a good job of getting our oxygen. We are going to build one more diffuser now that we have 5 dupes. The 6th dupe, we will need another diffuser, so we'll build another oxygen diffuser just to make sure our base is filled up enough. And you see it's not at max pressure, so we can take it. We're going to keep digging, and I hope you're still finding this series to be useful and fun. We're doing okay here as we set up, and I want to say thank you for all of your help. For new players, I'll check you in the next episode. Take care.